McFarlane, number 14 in the middle, and your man Joey Dunlop on the 750 Honda Britain. He'll be on the outside. The bikes are coming into view now. As the car comes through the course, the bike's weaving, warming up those tyres, getting ready for the off. The conditions here are absolutely perfect. It's a little bit overcast, but the sun's shining straight through the clouds at the moment. As the back markers come up now to complete the grid.
On the 750cc.
Yes, it's looking good. We're about to get underway. The bikes are in position.
Back there, the T number 27, Yul Duncan. On the second row on the 600cc All-Star Honda.
We're getting ready to go now. We hopefully any second now it's going to be off. And the flag drops. And they're getting ready to go. Then they're off. Here they go. Yes, it's McFarlane. He's got the edge. Dunlop wheeling there, and we've got a non-starter. But Degerholm certainly making it on into the right-hander as well. It's certainly McFarlane, Degerholm, and Dunlop. Two bikes there slowing away. One's, I didn't catch the number of this one, but he's stopped. He's obviously got a problem. But certainly going away. There was a couple of wheelies. I couldn't see exactly who it was from this point, but certainly Dunlop was on a flyer. But McFarlane, not like last night, he wasn't going to be the sandwich in between Degerholm and Dunlop. He broke away and he made it up to the Palacagan before Degerholm and Dunlop. Over to you, Roy.
Yes, well, we'll be expecting them. I think it's about, well, it's 2 minutes 16 something for a lap. We've got about a minute on air before they go, but now they'll be hammering through that little left and right, which takes you into, I would imagine, just on the brakes now, into Ballabeg hairpin. They'll be getting themselves sorted out there, and it looks as though Dunlop, you could distinctly hear that Works Honda there on the effects microphone that you've got, Dave, as they headed down the start and finish straight there. The distinctive sound of that, which is absolutely rocket machine. They'll be out of Ballabeg now, going round the right-hander at Ballawhetstone. They'll be going round the left-hander at Williams, not as wheel as we described it last night, and then they'll be heading out of Williams up over the little crest in the road which takes you past Roy Gelling's conservatory. Then it's absolutely flat against the stop down through the Black Dub, and very, very shortly into my view here, it's Jason Griffiths. Jason Griffiths has got it from Adrian McFarlane, but he's closely followed by Gary Carswell and fourth place Joey Dunlop. And they've done a little bit of a break there. Number 27 comes up the inside, Yul Duncan from 17, from Ryan Farquhar 22, 25, 34, 36, 54, number 55 just overshoots a little bit, 63, 53, 68, 43, 65, 56, but at the front there it was those four who had made a little bit of a break for it, and they were led by number 14 Adrian McFarlane. Number 14 is through, 75, 64. They'll be past the stadium now, hard on the brakes into the Castletown Bridge and into the side of Dave Moore very shortly.
Yes, we're just waiting for the first bikes to come, and I can tell you that number 12 Gary Carswell is an early retirement. He had problems with the bike starting, and he pulled up, got down as far as the paddock, and he has unfortunately retired. Here they are, the first bikes are in sight. 4 on the road. It's Griffiths. Griffiths is leading. It's Griffiths just ahead of Adrian McFarlane. Degerholm right on Adrian McFarlane, and Dunlop about half a second behind there in fourth. That's Yul Duncan coming through there in fifth. .47, and the whole scud's coming out. That's Michael Blake. Certainly on this opening lap, the bikes themselves have spread out. Someone here going through very slowly. That's number 58, John Batty on the 600 Honda. 74, Mark Braithwaite. 75, Stephen John. 64, James Luck. And that's the end of the field, with the travelling marshal following on behind. Over to you, Roy Moore at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, and we're waiting for the second lap here now at Cross Four Ways. They can't be too far away. Jason Griffiths, you said it was, down through the straight start and finish straight, and we can hear them coming. They'll be just cresting over that, coming out of that little very kink, which takes them down, as I say, past Maggie's Cottage and into our view. So it's well strung out, but those four would make a clean break for it. It was Adrian McFarland here at Cross Four Ways on the first lap. You said it was Jason Griffiths. They'll be jockeying about, but Joey Dunlop certainly seemed to be biding his time in fourth place. We can hear them. There's lots of cylinders getting extracted down through there, and it's the O'Kane machine, I think, of Jason Griffiths. It is, but up the inside goes number 14 and takes the lead here. Number 6 is there, just tight on the inside, so it's exactly the same order as the last time, but he wasn't leading coming into the corner. Number 14, Adrian McFarland, just took Jason Griffiths there on the approach. Number 27 is here with us now, Ewell Duncan, lying in 5th place, 17, and the scutch, as you graphically described it going through, 25, 22, 34, 36 and 54, but it was Adrian McFarland there at the front from Jason Griffiths, closely followed by Blair Deggerholm, and then being trailed by Joey Dunlop. But look out for that, it's a 10-lap race and it could be very exciting later on. 65, 43, 71, 71 Brian Appleton, and 48 is the one there, 48 Stephen Gilbert. That's about the late of them going through there. We look at our watch, it's round about that time now that the leaders, I think, would be into Castletown Corner and heading towards
here they come.
lap 2.
There's hardly a second between them. It's Adrian McFarland from Blair Deggerholm, Jason Griffiths second and Dunlop fourth, and a big gap to the 5th place man. He's here now. That's Ewell Duncan on the 600 Honda, but certainly coming down there, there's a few more coming in now. 17, 25, 34 goes through, 36, and number 50. But certainly at the moment it is a 4-horse race. The 4 horsemen of McFarland, Deggerholm, Griffiths and Dunlop leading this pack that are coming through now. 53-47 dicing there. And a few more bikes coming through. I'm just going to have a quick word with someone who should be getting ready for the Classic race. Richard Coates, very briefly. Classic, looking forward to it?
I'm not actually riding the Classic.
Oh, you're
down
down
to the 50 race though.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're looking forward to tonight?
I am. I think so. I've got mixed feelings about it after recent events. It's difficult to get motivated, but I will do my best.
Front row grid. Good, best of luck. Over to you, Roy, at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, nice to hear Richard Coates. He was down as a starter in the Classic race on the AJR, but obviously that's the Bultaco that hasn't materialised. So will number 14, Adrian McFarland, sneak inside. Jason Griffiths on the approach to Cross Four Ways on this, the 3rd lap. Here come the cavalry. We can hear them, and it's Blair Deggerholm who's got the lead this time from McFarland, and Joey Dunlop up to 3rd, and Jason Griffiths down to 4th. So an increase there. It was Deggerholm who took the approach on. He must have got past earlier on here than the approach to Cross Four Ways, and was ahead there of number 14, Adrian McFarland, who in turn was ahead of Joey Dunlop, number 3, riding his traditional number 3 tonight. 27, he's holding on to 4th place now. That's Ewell Duncan. It will be 5th actually. He was 4 at the front. Ewell Duncan into 5th place. 17. We haven't got him on our official programme. Yes, it's Paul Cranston. He was an extra entry, so we looked down the list for that. And 36, we can mention them by name, Paul Duckett. And 54, that's Mark Ralston. And 68, Michael Blake on his 600 Honda. Got a 400 Hondas over here as well to campaign later on tonight. 53 is with us and through. Colin Daniels and another Scotch 14 and
Yes, it's Blair Deggerholm. He's now leading from Adrian McFarland with Jason Griffiths second, Joey Dunlop way back in 4th there. They're the first 4 through, and a big gap down to 5th place. And here's the 5th place rider now. It should be Ewell Duncan, number 27 on the 600 Honda. It is Ewell Duncan coming through there, but that gap between the gang of 4, so to speak, and 5th place man Ewell Duncan is a big one and getting bigger. 17 there is Paul Cranston, followed by number 25 Dave Madston Mixon and Ryan Farquhar, number 22. But the way these guys are going, Roy, I think it's probably best bet to hand over to you now across four ways, because the way they're going to be with you any second.
Yes, 74, 75 and 64. The last one there being James Luck on the Tigcraft Yamaha single. That's the one we made a mention of going round. My apologies for being a little bit delayed, but they seem to be going at a very good quick pace as well. So my 1 minute from here to till they get to you, my apologies for missing out on that particular. So as they start the fourth lap, we wonder what the order will be here across four ways. We can hear them, but we can't see them, and those cylinders will be thumping them out, 16 in all, coming down towards us here. And it was Joey Dunlop, you said, who dropped back a little bit, but number 6, Blair Deggerholm, it was on the last lap, and it still is on this, the fourth lap, but it's Dunlop up to second. Dunlop is second from 14, but 14's not giving up. Jason Griffiths just dropping back a little bit, which is understandable, more than likely after his off at Oliver's Mount there. As we mentioned last night, it was hard to imagine that when you saw him at Ronaldsway Airport on Sunday night that he'd be out there racing round. But it's Blair Deggerholm from Joey Dunlop, from Adrian McFarland, with Jason Griffiths hanging on to that fourth place. We come into fifth place, and it's no change there because it's 27, Ewell Duncan. Takes it round. The boys now will be hammering down through Great Meadow, out over that little jump that takes them onto the straight into the approach to Stadium. A very fast sleeping left-hander, 17.25. Paul Cranston, Dave Madston-Migdal and Ryan Farquhar there, but I think they won't be too far away from you now, Dave. We don't want to miss them this time.
They're in sight, and here they are. It's number 6 from 3. Deggerholm, Dunlop and McFarland. Jason Griffiths falling back now. It's becoming a 3-horse race. There's nothing in between the first three. About a second and a half down. Jason Griffiths in fourth place. So those boys are flying. Ewell Duncan, I would imagine, is still going to be here in fifth place. That's number 27. But all the excitement there. Are these guys going to keep it up? Can they go? We're on the start of lap 5 now. Can they keep on the pace? Can Jason Griffiths? Will he be content with fourth? Will he be able to pull them in? Will they be battling with each other? Yes, 27, Ewell Duncan coming through there on the 600 Honda. But certainly Dunlop is catching all the time, and you don't bet against him leading next time around. Here's 17, Paul Cranston. Madston-Migdal and Farquhar catching up now on Paul Cranston. With 34 going through there, that's Peter Hounsell, followed by 36, Paul Duckett. And number 54, Mark Ralston on the 600 R&R Honda. 68, he goes through there. That's Michael Blake on the 600 Honda. One more bike in sight, coming through now. That's number 53, Colin Daniels on a 750cc Suzuki, and we hand over to Roy Moore at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, and I think it won't be too long before they'll be tangling up with a few back markers. Everything's going nice and tidy now. He'll just give number 75 a mention, or he'll be one of the first, I would think. Stephen John on that big Suzuki, and 74, and that's Joey ahead. Joey takes the lead across Four Ways. Number 64 did get in the way a little bit, and Blair Deggerholm was right behind them. There's Jason Griffiths, and don't discount Adrian McFarland, because as we mentioned, just as we mentioned there, they did get tangled up a little bit with the back marker, and Joey Dunlop, the professional he is, just dived up the inside, and it's Dunlop now who leads on this, the fifth lap down here at Ballown on the combined total oils. And the other one, which the first race tonight, the Founders Race, Senior Founders Race, combined to races 1 and 3, and those four still holding on to that position. That was the position after the first lap as they went through, but the only difference is now that Joey Dunlop leads. Number 27, Ewell Duncan, well, a very lonely ride for him in fifth place, and it has been all through the race, but they're going to get a few more back markers, I think, because there was about 5 or 6 that went through ahead of that. This is a good old dice, though. 17, 25 and 22. Paul Cranston, Dave Madston-Migdal, and Ryan Farquhar getting used to the McAdoo Kawasaki. 34 and 36. 36, Paul Duckett, and 34, Paul Hounsell, but the leaders won't be far away from you, Dave, at the start.
Yes, as I confidently predicted, Joey Dunlop's just passed us here. Should be a Ballachagan by now. He leads from Blair Deggerholm. A slight gap ahead of Adrian McFarland, and Jason Griffiths dropping out back even further. In fact, he overtook Stephen John, number 75, one of the back markers, as they went past us here on the straight. But Dunlop certainly on a flyer. There is, of course, the normal racing line, and there is the Joey Dunlop line, which he knows these places inside out. The man has been racing. Here's Ewell Duncan. He's been racing on the Isle of Man now for many, many years, and he'll probably know this circuit inside out, where it's smooth, where it's bumpy, where to brake, where not to brake, where to gain those little extra seconds. And if anyone is going to hold on to a lead on the Ballown circuit, is going to be Mr. Dunlop. And a tremendous dice there for number 22, Ryan Farquhar, and he's passed Madsen Migdal. He's actually got past him on the lap 5 here, but they're still just half a second behind. Number 20, number 17 it was, Paul Cranston. But back to Roy Moore at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, and so again, apologies there, we just missed out, but it must be a very good pace. Maurice Maudsley, the timekeeper there, keeps everybody informed in and around the grandstand area as to what the lap record is. It doesn't appear to be Joey Dunlop well ahead now. As they say, you could put a sixpence on the road and he'd go over it each time. Blair Deggerhone second, number 14 there, Adrian McFarland on to third place, and Jason Griffiths dropping a little bit further back and just keels it in on the red number plates, the PJ O'Kane Yamaha there, and as neat and as tidy as ever, but dropping back a little bit. But Joey Dunlop increasing his lead here on lap 5 at Cross Four Ways. I think it might even be lap 6. We just got our marking sheet here. We're not like you, Dave, we haven't got an assistant, we've got to do it all ourselves. I think it is lap 6. 75 is with us here now, Stephen John getting a mention each time. 74 and 64, that's Mark Braithwaite, and 64, just look down through our programme, James Lookett is. So the next one should be the man who's into 5th place, Ewell Duncan, and it is number 27, distinctive yellow plates there. So with the news from Cross Four Ways, we don't want to miss him on this particular lap, but Joey Dunlop leads from Adrian McFarland, Blair Deggerhome and Adrian McFarland. That's the top 3. Back to Dave at the start and finish.
Yes, we've missed them, Roy. They've just gone through. Dunlop half a second ahead of Blair Deggerhome, half a second ahead of Adrian McFarland, with Jason Griffiths in 4th. And no, I don't have an assistant, but thankfully the crowd... Oh, my assistants have just arrived. Good evening, chaps. But I'm very fortunate. Some very kind people in the crowd keeping me up to date, because we're getting so excited by this race that it's very hard to keep track, especially when you're trying to work out the numbers and the programs and what have you. But certainly that's the situation. Dunlop leads half a second from Blair Deggerhome. Adrian McFarland is 3rd. He's about half a second down. 2-3 seconds down on them is Jason Griffiths. And who's this in view now? That's the man that's on Roy Moore's Christmas card list. That's number 75, Stephen John. That's number 27, Ewell Duncan goes through there. There is a big gap between 4th and 5th, and it looks like an even bigger between the 6th place man, which should be number 17, Paul Cranston on the 750 Kawasaki, and maybe now it's Ryan Farquhar in 6th place from Madsen Migdal. No, in fact, Madsen Migdal has claimed that place back. He must have got it back from Ryan Farquhar somewhere around the circuit. But it's back to Roy Moore at Cross Four Ways.
That was the position as they left Cross Four Ways on the last lap. As you say, you'll have to keep you posted. We can't see any yellow flags with the black cross on, but we're getting a helicopter doing a bit of filming directly above us, so that should be good value. And they'll see Joey Dunlop, number 3, coming into Cross Four Ways with a substantial lead now. Blair Deggerhone not giving up. The back end just hops out a little bit there as he goes onto the brakes on the new surface, and he's up to 2nd. He's holding on to that 2nd place from number 14, Adrian McFarland. So the top 3, no change. And as I say, the new surface down here at Cross Four Ways has taken the bumps out of it. I've been reliably informed that the breaking point is Maggie's Cottage. There's Jason Griffiths. So with the 2 races combined, looking at it, one thing, once the racing gets started, you get your excitement back and the adrenaline. And like everything else, it's going to be a good one, I think. But Joey Dunlop leading there. We don't want to miss him this time. I would think he'd be well hammered through the stadium now, and onto the brakes into the bridge, and shortly into the view of Dave Moore at the start and finish.
Yes, thanks, Roy. No sign of him yet as we start lap 7. And here he is. He's in front, and he's increasing his lead. It's a big lead this time. Here's Joey Dunlop. And Blair Deggerhome and Adrian McFarland. McFarland's caught up on Deggerhome, or maybe Deggerhome's dropped down, because there's 4 seconds at least there between front man Joey Dunlop and second man Blair Deggerhome, with Adrian McFarland 4th. This should be Jason Griffiths. Yes, Jason Griffiths, the Ramsey man, the bionic man. He's lying 4th at the moment, and this gap between 4th and 5th is getting bigger and bigger. But certainly Joey Dunlop is on a charge. He's on the case. He's looking for the first win of Southern 100 99, and put your money on your man, Joey Dunlop. Should be the fifth place man, Yule Duncan. In fact, it's not. That's number 58, John Batty, on the 600 Honda, one of the back markers. But at that point, the way Dunlop is going, the way he's flying, that I think I should hand over to you, Roy Moore, at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, he'll be heading for 30 wins, which is an incredible record. Obviously, we all know he holds the record number of wins on the TT, and 29 at the moment for Joey Dunlop. A long career down here at the Southern 100 course, going back years. And we've been entertained by him, and none more so than not all that long ago at the Steam Packet races, which were a tremendous occasion. It's a very fast approach here by number 56, but he gets it anchored up just in time. John Scheimer, a good old Manx Grand Prix campaigner there, 47-48. Well, these will be getting a little bit of a fright shortly, because Joey is here, and exactly the same line down the centre of the road, just peels it over. The RC45 accelerates away, and it's Blair Deggerholm who's second. They go round here at an incredible pace, I must admit. The tyres, the adhesion they get now on round this particular course, when you think that they're lapping in the region of 104 and 105 mile an hour, and you've got three virtually hairpin corners, it's an incredible speed. Jason Griffiths, number 2, he takes a more line which is tighter into the wall on the outside on the approach, and then peels it over and away, but it's still Joey Dunlop increasing his lead, I would say, but not all that much dramatically, from number 6, Blair Deggerholm. But I think it will be a good dice on the last lap, whenever that will be, with number 14, Adrian McFarland, because they've stayed together right through the race. But Joey Dunlop, not too far away from you now, Dave, at the start and finish.
Yes, he crosses the line to start lap number 8. Last about. Here he comes, he's zipping through a lot of back markers. He's got 3 back markers ahead of him there. In fact, Deggerholm is on a charge. He's certainly caught up. Whether Dunlop's just eased up slightly or not, or Deggerholm is putting the pressure on, I don't know. McFarland's certainly there in third as well. But Dunlop's lost about a second on that last lap. But certainly those are the 3 boys that are making this race what it is. Let's see who's this. Is this Jason Griffiths? Jason Griffiths now ploughing a lonely furrow, no back markers around. He should have a nice clear lap. This time he should catch up with the back markers, I think, just as they come round to you at Cross Four Ways. We'll wait for the next man through. Should be number 27, Yule Duncan, which this gap between 4th and 5th gets bigger and bigger with each lap. 10 laps to don't forget tonight, and we'll be down talking to the winners of tonight's race down in the paddock shortly. Also tonight on the card, we've got the classic race, which is coming up next, followed by which is over 8 laps, the junior race, 10 laps, and then the final event of the evening, the 6-lap sidecar race. And it's great to see Dave Molyneux and Craig Hallam competing after their little mishap at the weekend. Well, there's still no sign of Yule Duncan here, so I think it's a good point to hand over to Roy Moore at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, just an update on that dice between 25, Dave Madsen-Migdal, and 17, Paul Cranston, and 22, Ryan Farquhar. The order remains the same on this, the whatever lap it is. I've just lost complete track of it, but when they don't come through again, I'll know that that's the end. Number 53 there, it's got Desperate Racing on the side of it, Colin Daniels, 750 Suzuki, and this is Joey now. Exactly the same line, doesn't look hairy at all. Blair Deggerholm back end swaying a little bit under the braking there, but that was down the road last night, so there's a lot of hard work gone into that. And number 14 dropping back, 65, 43 thought the inside line was favoured. 43 Stuart Robson, but obviously not, because he had to give way there. 48 and 47 Stephen Gilbert and Jeff Jones, they're going but being lapped by the leader, and Jason Griffiths comes into view now, so a bit of a gap opening up there for second place. Joey maintaining station at first, but it looks as though number 6 Blair Deggerholm increasing his lead over number 14 Adrian McFarland, as back markers play a part, and you've got to choose where they go. But Joey won't be far from you now, Dave.
We just had a few back markers come through there. Number 64, James Luck, riding his luck, I suppose, a little bit, because he's going to be overtaken surely by this man coming down through here. No. Yes, there he is, the distinctive yellow helmet of Joey Dunlop, and he has increased his lead this time. There goes Deggerholm in second place, followed by McFarland. Dunlop's lead certainly back up to 4 seconds, followed by Blair Deggerholm and Adrian McFarland as we now enter the last lap. A few back markers going through there, so we should expect Jason Griffiths to come through shortly. But certainly Dunlop, whether he had a sign to say that... in fact, there goes Griffiths, but if Dunlop had a sign, someone would say that He'd slowed down a little, or Degerholm was catching up on him. Certainly he has increased that lead, and they enter the final lap of tonight's race. And back to Roy Moore at Cross Four Ways.
Yes, we've just had, Joey Dunlop probably on his way to us now. I would think he is that dice. It's still Dave Madston-Migdal from number 17, Paul Cranston, and Ryan Farquhar. Ryan Farquhar out on the 600 in this particular event. He's still got the 750 to go, and that will be later on tonight or tomorrow. I don't think he gets it out tonight. It'll be tomorrow afternoon. 34 there. We look at our programme, Peter Hansel, but it looks as though it's on the last lap, as you mentioned, Dave. I'm taking your word for it on that particular one. 36, we'll give him a mention as he goes through. Paul Duckett, 54 and 68. That's Mike Blake again, and Mark Ralston on the old R&R Honda there. He's got campaigning, but it looks as though this is Joey's, but he's not here as yet. But we can see a distinctive machine approaching, just caught a glimpse of it cresting the rise. He goes round the outside of number 75 there. That'll be an experience for him. Stephen John and 74, and he goes a little bit wide as Joey nips up in the underside very, very safely indeed. 64 is just going to be overtaken by number 6 Blair Degerholm, I would think. 53, and there's number 14 Adrian McFarland. So the order still the same. 71 Brian Appleton on the 1000 Yamaha. That was going very quickly down through the start and finish on practice, and two very, very fast approaches. Joey well on his way on this particular one though. 65, William Philp, and 56, and there's Jason. So that's the top 4 through. We don't want to miss the finish for his 30th win. If everything goes to plan, it should be Joey Dunlop taking the checkered flag in the view of Dave Moore on the start and finish.
Yes, thanks Roy. Yule Duncan has come through, so has Cranston, Farquhar, Madston-Migdal. In fact, Madston-Migdal in front of him. And who's this in view now? Yes, there it is. It's Joey Dunlop. It's his. The crowd applaud. Your man, Joey Dunlop, takes the checkered flag. He's won by a mile. As Blair Degerholm comes through for second. The thumbs up there from Blair Degerholm, the Kiwi, with Adrian McFarland just behind him. And as I make my way down now to the paddock to catch a word with the man, the 30 times winner, Joey Dunlop. Back to you, Roy. Just bring a few more of the riders in while I go and catch up with the guys.
Well, I hope you have more luck interviewing Joey Dunlop than everybody else has had. He's a man of very few words, and it'll be probably right enough. And yes, it was good, and it was safe, and it was yes and no, and what have you. So Dave Moore might be the first man in history to get a constructive interview out of Joey Dunlop, but that's the way he is. He treats everything very seriously. We were watching him the other night. There's Yule Duncan, so that's 5th place for him. Selecting the gearing for this particular event, and he was in studious form with his mechanic, and they got it all sorted out. And here's that dice, 25 and 17. Well, that could go down to the wire. It's been like that all through the race, and Ryan Farquhar just dropping back a little bit, so I don't think. But look out for 25, Dave Madston-Migdal. And the other one that was going through there, 17, Paul Cranston. That couldn't be decided at the back. But what they do is they just pull into the little slip road, take their helmets off, and I'm pretty certain Joey Dunlop won't be far away now from an interview with Dave Moore for his 30th win.
Congratulations, Joey Dunlop. Win number 30.
Hard going now.
Yeah, that was the race and a half there. You you won by a mile at the end.
No, it was very, very hard because my bike's a wee bit on edge and speed on me, and I'm better in the bike, so it's difficult to get past her in the bike. Once I got in front for a lap, I knew I could hang on maybe.
Complaining, you win, and yet you're complaining. There is, of course, the road racers line, and there's the Joey Dunlop line. Well, we've been watching you and looking for the smooth bits where you can get that extra second braking or whatever. Certainly the case on the Balance circuit.
It's hard to tell you the truth. We have it pretty well fixed now, so there's just a few bits you have to watch and know your own way around it.
Pleased with this win?
Oh, aye, happy enough.
Conditions good?
Oh, aye, perfect.
Man, as Roy said, of very few words. As we now look for Blair Degerholm, he should be around here somewhere. There he is, Blair Degerholm. Second place, Blair.
Yeah, I'm happy with that, especially after yesterday.
We're a little bit cautionary going into Ballachagan this evening?
Yeah, first couple of laps, definitely. But, I mean, it paid off, sort of. You can't win the race in the first corner, which I found out yesterday, so...
The first half of the race, it was a heck of a race. The 4 of you up there dicing together.
Oh, it was good. It's good fun. I enjoyed it, actually. And, I had to look behind me, and I knew Joe was going to be there somewhere, and he came past, and his shoulder was giving me a bit of grief, so I just tried to sit him behind him, but he's good.
But you're getting better.
Yeah, I'm learning. I learned a lot yesterday. But yeah, I'm getting there. enjoying it.
You, at one stage, Joey did pull away, but you seemed to reel in a little bit around lap 7 or 8. Then he seemed to pull away from you again. Was that him slowing up, or you on a charge?
It was probably him slowing up actually, because I was keeping an eye on Adrian behind me, and I mean, you know, I was happy to settle with that. So.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
More success for you the rest of the week.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll let you go and get your prizes. We'll have a quick look around. Adrian McFarlane shouldn't be too bad. The fans have gathered around Joey Dunlop, so he won't be getting up for his presentation just yet. Adrian McFarlane's certainly around here somewhere as they wheel the bikes up. 3 bikes going up there. In fact, McFarlane is pushing his bike onto the rostrum. I'm going to be very, very cheeky here and just slip up the side while he's busy adjusting his bike. I better not disturb his concentration just yet as they move these around. Blair Deggerholm's on the stage now. Joey Dunlop is still in the distance, so I'm going to grab a very quick word with Adrian McFarlane. Adrian, 3rd place, well done.
Yeah, it's good. Getting hard to hold on to now. But Joey just come by us and he got a couple of back marks between us, and then the back mark has just kind of spoiled it on us.
Before the race, did you settle for 3rd?
I would have been quite happy to have been up here all right.
You got a better start tonight than you did last night. You were quickest away last night. Blair and Joey certainly got ahead, but you got on there. How long did you hold on to that for?
Oh, not too long. We weren't long at catching up.
But certainly had a bit of fun with Blair Deggerholm there as well.
Oh, we're having good days, and then the back mark has just spoiled it on us.
Okay, well done. Okay, Roy, back to you.
Yes, we've just been interested actually. We've the hairiest people that have been going around here were fellas who appeared to be on kind of big 1000cc road bikes, and I'm not absolutely on the case as to what's going on, but I do believe that I think it was originally Steve Hislop. I think you might know a bit about this more than me, Dave, because you're the real interviewer with Steve Hislop and the boys, but certainly there was a few hairy men on bikes going round, getting the back wheels locked up, coming into Cross Four Ways here, and I do believe one of them was Keith Hewen.
That's right, Neil Hodgson's just come past here as well. Keith Hewen is one of them. Dave Jeffries as well has been flown over. They're trying to find out which are the best road bikes for the best roads in the world, and that's part of the Greenlight production. As I'll just look now, Joey Dunlop's just been presented with his wreath. Blair Deggerholm, 2nd place tonight in the Senior Solo Founders Combined Senior Race. 3rd place goes to Adrian McFarlane. And the 4th man on the rostrum, I didn't see Jason Griffiths come through. I was too busy getting up. It looks like Yule Duncan. Number 27 is sitting here. It is certainly Yule Duncan. Getting the applause of the crowd. As now there's certainly a lot of people down here. A lot of cameras are clicking away. A lot of people looking and a lot of smiles, especially from Mr. Dunlop. You don't see that too often, but he's grinning away. Blair Deggerholm smiling as well, and it's an absolutely wonderful sight. Some of the best road racers around, it's all sitting together on the podium here. Maybe you can give me an update on these boys that are racing around, Roy.
Yes, I can, because now that I realise that it is David Jeffries, he is entertaining the crowd tremendously here. He's just come into Cross Four Ways practically sideways and left a big black mark down through the centre of the road, so probably in a road test of what is the greatest circuit. Obviously he's got his V&M leathers on, which are easily distinguishable. Keith Hewen, you mentioned, was amongst the others, and your friend Neil Hodgson, but David Jeffries certainly enjoying himself as they came into here, and there's 3, 4, 5 now, big massive black streaks on the approach to Cross Four Ways where they've been locking it up, but they are big monster bikes, and if they're just testing the circuit out, well then that'll be a good thing. It'll be a good scoop for anybody, and the organisers are very acceptable to anything that gets here. I don't know who this is, but exactly the same thing, getting the back locked up. It's Ducati and orange leathers, so we'll have to find out later on who's that. And obviously if this is the case, it's explained the situation as to why the helicopter is flying about. Greenlight must be doing this for a reason, obviously for a production later on in the year, and the hire of the helicopter, not cheap, so the way things are shaping up, they're getting good entertainment from them as they go around the course. But they'll be taken off, I would think, shortly, because we're approaching the 2nd race of tonight, which is race 4 on the card, and that goes in order, as it were, which will be the Ireland Aviation and Travel Classic race. And there's certainly a distinctive field lined up for this particular one, and you've got everything because it's running in 3 classes. You've got everything from the big 750 Rocket 3s right down to the 250 Suzukis. So it looks as though there's not too many non-starters for that. I don't know whether they're in the holding area down there, Dave. But
no, they're not at the moment. But we have got some gentlemen in the holding area here. One of them is Mr. Steve Hislop. What are you doing?
We're doing a road test. We've been road testing all day, comparing these different manufacturers' machines.
Now, we'll stop you there. Do not compare. You're having fun.
Yeah, we've been having a good crack all day, but it's just nice to get a ride around here on closed roads. I've drove around the but tell you one thing, it's bumpy.
Dave Jeffries, very quickly, laying rubber across 4 ways.
Like Steve says, we're just here quite hard today, so we just thought we'd have a bit of fun as well.
Are you posing?
Oh no, we wouldn't do a thing like that.
Yes, Dave Jeffries there in the Dave Jeffries, by the way, on the Yamaha Ninja, and we'll just have a look at Steve's bike here. You can still hear him above the noise. It's the 1100 CBRX Super Blackbird, double X that is. As I think it's best for me to get out of here, especially with the noise of the classic bikes, because you certainly, if you can hear me now, that's a bonus, because these machines are loud. This is thunder multiplied by 8 dozen. This gets very, very loud. It's a commentator's nightmare, because you know when these guys come screaming past, it's not worth saying anything, because no one is going to hear you above the din, as all the bikes now pulling up into the holding area here. And Roy Moore, I think you remember these machines a little bit better than I do.
oh, I certainly do, Dave. I can remember the smell as well, because the majority of them run on the old Caster R, and it's the smell and the sound which are the main thing, really. You only have to go back to TT Week when Honda brought all over those 6-cylinder and 4-cylinder machines, which were prominent in the TT in the late 60s and early 70s. Well, late 60s really. Honda started in 59 up at the old Nursery Hotel there in Onken with twin-cylinder machines, and then progressed up to what the mighty 6-cylinder. And to hear that thing coming up Police Station Road past my house as I was walking down is absolutely magic. You can't record it, it vibrates in your head. But there's some good stuff out here today as well, and I don't think that Colin Bevan is on the BSA Rocket 3. Last year's winner on I think it was the Wednesday night, he actually won this particular race, and we had a bit of difficulty because it was Dave and myself who were down on the start and finish straight, who were actually putting the commentary together. Then we didn't have the benefit of the Cross 4 Ways commentary point, and we couldn't understand what machine he was riding, but it's a Westlake, and I think he's got that out again tonight. That's number 1, Colin Bevan, and he actually flew away from the field last year. But there are a few 3s about, and none more so than Carl Wilkie. He's a regular campaigner down here on the Rob North Triumph. And Jeff Jones also out on a 3-cylinder machine, as is QEG's own Alan Phillips, riding at number 5. And he's lovingly maintained his machine. He does all his own mechanicking on it, and it's a credit to him to get it round here. He goes off island as well to do a few circuits down Oliver's Mount and Snetterton. Snetterton is the original circuit that he started on. A few names from the past. Vin Duckett, well, he's a regular campaigner, was a regular campaigner in the Manx Grand Prix for a number of years, and a great supporter of all the classic racing on the Isle of Man. John Knowles, well, he's an Isle of Man resident now, resident down at Kirkmichael, lives down there in Cannon Avenue. So he's got a rostrum place last year, I think it was 3rd that he got up to, and he was as difficult to interview as Joey Dunlop, although I think it took him a little bit by surprise that particular night, because he wasn't expecting a podium finish, as it were. But John Knowles, a regular campaigner as well, he'll be down on the entry list for the Grand Prix. Les Trotter, well, he's got a 492 Kruk Suzuki, which has just become eligible for classic racing. It's all based on age. And Les Trotter, well, he could be a bit of a dark horse tonight on that particular one. But I can remember going back a few years, he's got painful memories here of Cross 4 Ways, because the back end stepped out, I think it was a long time ago. It must be 15 to 20 years ago when Les was in his prime, a little bit older now. And the back end stepped out and spat him off, and he was stretchered over to the ambulance, but okay. And we've got other names that you've got to look out for down there through too, because again, it's 3 separate classes for this, up to 350, which includes the 250 Suzukis and the Hondas, and mainly the Suzukis really. Then you go to the Class 2, which is 351 to 500, so always the kind of 500 G50 Metuses and stuff are always favoured in that particular one. And then you go to Class 3, which is usually contested by the Rocket 3s, the 501 to 850. Good conditions for them tonight, really, because they have a speed advantage.
Thanks for that, Roy. We'll come back to you after news at 7.
At Silverdale Glen, generations have enjoyed the beautiful setting, the boating lake, playground and carousel. The tea room and licensed restaurant are open daily from 10 till 5:30, serving delicious, traditional home-cooked food, Sunday lunches, snacks and Davidson's Real Manx ice creams. The licensed restaurant is also open Friday and Saturday nights, serving large portions for small prices. It's the ideal venue for children's party functions, social and corporate events. To book, call Silverdale on 823 474. A great day out.
At ShopRite, you'll find a range of sausages that are simply sensational. With the Waitrose range, freshly made from every corner of the globe, you have all the ingredients for the perfect summer barbecue. You'll find Cumberland, Lincolnshire, Mediterranean and Toulouse, plus Aberdeen Angus, herb, even hot dogs, and so much more. And every Waitrose sausage is made from the freshest ingredients to ensure you enjoy all the flavour and taste of the world's finest. Waitrose Fine Foods, exclusively at larger ShopRite stores. Delicious. Believe it.
From small beginnings at Cambridge Footlights, Kit and the Widow have honed their very special comedy talents into a show that will amuse and delight you. Catch Kit and the Widow's unique worldview at the Gaiety Theatre on Friday the 30th of July. Prime bits of their West End show, Meat on the Bone, plus some old favourites from the past will be aired for your entertainment. Book your seats now for Kit and the Widow at the Gaiety Theatre for one night only on Friday the 30th of July. Hey, do you know Splinter's DIY store are moving?
Oh no, where to?
Just up the road to bigger and better premises. They're expanding to have an even wider range of paints plus a new line in wallpapers.
At last, Ramsey will have a DIY store with paints and wallpapers.
So it's still Splinter's DIY store, Parliament Street, Ramsey, but bigger and better. And Steve's still there to help you.
Thanks, Radio!